People keep saying we gave Ukraine too many missiles, and now we don't have enough. But that argument misses the bigger story. This war didn't just drain stockpiles, it changed the very nature of warfare. Ukraine adapted, Iran learned, and the US risk repeating Russia's mistakes. For decades, military power meant tanks, fighter jets, and missile arsenals. But Ukraine showed us something different. Cheap, swarming drones were taking out equipment worth millions and slipping past air defense systems. Ukraine adapted in real time, out of necessity. That's what frustrates me. We should have been learning alongside them, building counter drone systems, rethinking doctrine. Instead, we debated numbers while the battlefield evolved. Iran saw the shift and built drones into their arsenal. The US stayed locked in old doctrine just as Russia did. Russia thought Ukraine would collapse in days, so there was no backup plan, no logistics for a long war, and that cost them dearly. They underestimated the morale and supply lines, and 5 years later, they're still stuck. Iran learned from this mistake, preparing for endurance. The US risk repeating it if they assume quick victories without planning for the grind of a long conflict. The lesson is simple. Logistics and morale break armies, not just weapons. Ukraine proved that swarms of cheap drones and decoys can overwhelm billion-dollar defenses, even striking critical infrastructure. Iran adapted this lesson directly. The US is still playing catch-up. Just as Russia got caught off guard, so is the US. The equation of war has flipped. It's not about who has the biggest arsenal, but who adapts the fastest. Wars today aren't just fought on the battlefield. Ukraine faced cyberattacks, disinformation campaigns, and attempts to destabilize morale. Iran invested heavily in cyber capabilities. Struggles. The US still struggles with resilience against disinformation, echoing Russia's blind spot. That's a reminder. The battlefield isn't only physical anymore, it's digital, psychological, and global. Sanctions, energy supply, grain exports, these became weapons in themselves. Russia tried to use oil and gas as leverage. Ukraine's grain became a global issue. Iran learned how to weaponize oil and sanctions. The US underestimated economic warfare, just as Russia underestimated Ukraine's resilience. Modern wars spill into markets and economies, and that's something we need to consider carefully before entering conflicts. Ukraine adapted civilian tech for drones, proving innovation can come from anywhere. And Ukraine survived because of alliances. Iran followed suit, blurring civilian and military tech and building its own network of partners. The US hesitated, slow to integrate civilian innovation, repeating Russia's rigid approach. And when wars are wars of choice, alliances are harder to secure. Ukraine's unity became a weapon. Russia underestimated morale, and it cost them dearly. Iran learned the importance of morale and in sustaining conflict. The US risked overlooking morale just as Russia did. And leadership matters. Putin surrounded himself with yes men. And when our own leaders sideline military voices, we risk the same. So yes, missiles matter, but adaptation matters more. Ukraine forced the world to see that the battlefield has changed forever. Drones, cyber, economics, alliances, morale. Iran's rapid adaptation proves others are learning faster than we are. If we don't learn those lessons now, we'll be fighting tomorrow's wars with yesterday's weapons and lose. And this is already being seen now. I really hope that you got something out of today's episode. If you haven't already, please subscribe so you don't miss the next episode. And please drop a comment. Does any of this resonate with you? Any other things that you've learned from the Ukraine war that you see playing out now? Please comment below. Thank you so much.